Hello everybody, welcome to Speak Votomi. Thank you so much for joining me. If it's your first time here, you are absolutely welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, this is a place and platform where we speak about everything that's got to do with life. So for today, I want to tap into the mental health space, the mental wellness space, and I'm going to be speaking about anxiety in terms of what is it, what causes it, maybe even why we get it and how to cope through it. So that's what I'll be talking about today. But before I get into that, just want to remind you that I'm not a mental health professional. So if you do need advice pertaining this, I would advise you to go and see your mental health professional. But I do want to say that all the information that I'll be giving you now does come from credible sources, which I will be linking in the description box, and you will be able to go and read more about this. If you want to do your own research on this, don't forget to check your sources. Make sure that it is articles that are written by credited health professionals, and you cannot go wrong. So anxiety, what is it? So according to the American Psychological Association, anxiety is described as an emotion that is characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes such as increased heart rate, increased blood pressure as well. So what this means is that because your mind may tell you that you are scared of a certain event or a certain environment, whatever the case may be, one may end up experiencing a bit of tension, whether it be in the muscles, whether it be in the mind, or worried thoughts that recur often and over. So that is what would then be anxiety. Anxiety, in the general sense, is very different from anxiety disorder. And the reason for that is that a certain amount of anxiety is considered normal depending on the situation. However, it becomes abnormal once it affects your day-to-day running of your life. So for example, if you're in a situation where you maybe have to do a speech in front of a large crowd of people, it's considered normal for you to be nervous or to feel a sense of anxiety. However, if it gets to a point where you're unable to do it because maybe you start to stress, sweat, panic, faint, and all of that stuff, then it might get to a point where you are, borderlining the anxiety disorder side of things. So for most of us, we may not have anxiety disorders per se, but we do have a level of anxiety, and sometimes it does get stressful and hard to live with. Moving along to what causes anxiety. So anxiety is said to be it's caused by a mixture of things. Genetics is involved, the environment one grows up is involved, psychological and developmental factors are also involved. So the direct cause is unknown, but we know that it's a mixture of many things. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 10 coping strategies for you to cope with your anxiety. I am well aware that not everybody has an anxiety disorder, but we can get and use a little bit of help in terms of how to cope and deal with anxiety. So the first thing that you can do is pause. In this life that constantly encourages us to be busy, whether it be busy taking school, your side hustle, having to take care of family, all of these things, we almost romanticize being busy. But here I am telling you to pause. Take time out. Sometimes the rush and the busyness is what gets our anxiety, rolling. It's what gets our minds overthinking. It's what gets us feeling the tension and having these recurring thoughts that are somewhat negative. So it is important for you to take time out and to pause. It's necessary. We don't always have to be busy, even despite what society tells us. It is okay to pause. In fact, it's not just okay, it is necessary for us to pause and take time out. Number 2, you need to live a healthy and active lifestyle. So this might be very difficult for a lot of people to do, but what I always say is start small, be consistent, and then work your way up. So instead of starting with something, drastic, like changing your whole diet, deciding you're not going to have any carbs and you're not going to have any meat, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. But the chances of that being sustainable are very low. So instead of going for something drastic like that, maybe change your midday snack that is very that's filled with sugar. What you can do is maybe swap that out for a fruit or a smoothie or something like that, something small like that, but be consistent about it, and that will help over time increase from doing a healthy snack to doing a healthy meal. And then after that, you'll do a healthy 2 meals. And then eventually you work your way up like that. And before you know it, you'll be eating a lot healthier. And with exercise, don't strain yourself and want to do like a 21k every single day of the week. Do something small. In the time where you'd come back home, sit on the couch or Netflix and chill, whatever the case may be, decide, I'm going to take a 10-minute walk. Start with 10 minutes and work your way up. It doesn't have to be something drastic. If you want it to be something drastic, you can do so. But if you start small and be consistent, then it's easier to maintain. The next thing that one can do is to breathe. So for those of you who have Apple Watches, Apple actually has a feature that reminds you to just take some time out and to breathe. So that's something that you can actually practice, where you literally take, if it be a minute, and you inhale and exhale and just focus on breathing. In that time, just actively tell your mind that you're breathing. So you'll repeat in your head, like breathe in, and you do the action and breathe out and take another breath, and that's all you focus on at that moment, and that helps to calm any anxiety that you might be feeling. If you want to breathe for a longer period of time, you can do something like meditation, stuff like that, just where you practice your breathing and you practice on thinking on one or a specific thing. And you can do that while you're breathing as well. So that definitely does help. And it also helps you in, maintaining a calm state of mind. Another thing that you can do is to be very welcoming to humor. Make it a thing that you laugh at least once a day. An easy way to do it would be maybe even to just follow like a meme page or like a comedy page on Instagram or whatever. And at least that, for a moment in a day, your mind is moved from, the anxious thoughts and the anxious feelings, and you're just able to just laugh for that time being. And another thing that is important in dealing with anxiety is to know your triggers. So know what triggers you to becoming, to being in an anxious state. So if you know that you experience heightened levels of anxiety during exam time, then maybe it would be okay for you to space out the amount of work that you have to do. During that time, remind yourself to take a break, and then maybe take a break or go for a walk outside of studying, whatever the case may be. But know your triggers. This will help you get to the root problem and know what it is that you need to focus on in terms of finding a solution. And number 6, you need to talk it out, whether it be with a professional or just somebody that has an ear to listen to you. Talk it out. Talking it out, it helps in the sense that it's a space for release. It also helps in the sense that you feel as though you're sharing the burden, you're sharing the load, and the person that you were speaking to is also able to offer you empathy, and it doesn't feel as though these worried thoughts are as ginormous and as gigantic as they seem anymore. Number 7, do your best. Perfection is a myth. It really is. It's a myth that has been created by us human to just, make us feel as though we are inadequate. Perfection does not exist. So as long as you are giving it your very best, then that is more than enough. Number 8, set small daily goals and achieve them as you go. The reason I am saying this is that often we set long-term goals, which is all good and well, but in the space where you start and you reach your goal, we often feel that there are big steps that you need to take. So therefore, if you set daily goals rather, and tick those off, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and reaching your long-term goals seems and feels a lot easier to attain. So instead of setting your goals as in the next 5 years, I want to be, the biggest hip hop star, whatever the case may be, rather say right now, by the end of the week or by the end of the day, I want to have written a certain song and I'm going to post it on whatever platform. And once you do that, you feel a sense of accomplishment, and reaching your next goal doesn't seem as difficult as it did. Number 9, what you can do is to consume positive content. Spoiler alert, not everything that is out there is meant for your consumption. So if that means you need to go out and delete people off your Instagram from following them, you need to delete negativity that comes from Twitter, whatever the case may be. If it means you must do it for the betterment of your mental health, then you need to do it. I am a strong advocate for people doing exactly what they need to do to become better, and this is one of them. Like, if you know that there are things that trigger your anxiety, there's content that triggers your anxiety, there's content that causes you to not be in the greatest mental space, then you need to cut those things off. It's as simple as that. And number 10 is, because I obviously believe in Jesus and therapy, I would always say that one needs to pray and practice gratitude. Practicing gratitude is not a way of shooing away the anxiety, because unfortunately that is not something that can be done. But what counting your blessings does do is that it moves your mind away from the negative thoughts and it channels them towards the positive. Praying does the same thing. It moves your thoughts away from the negative towards the positive as well. So definitely pray about things. It's always important for you to go back to scripture, especially if you're somebody of faith like I am. So what does the word say about anxiety? The word says in Philippians 4 verse 6 to 7, worry about nothing and pray about everything. And it says, in prayer and supplication, make your requests known unto God. As I had mentioned before, what prayer actually does is it moves your focus away from the problem itself to the problem solver, and also towards peace, knowing that the problem eventually will be solved. Sometimes we're so focused on the problem that we don't realize that even while the problem is still there, we are making progress. So that's what I believe that prayer can help you do as well. And in 1 Peter 5 verse 6 to 7, it says, cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. So him here being God, being Jesus, cast your anxiety unto him because he cares about you. I often think there are things that we worry about that we have absolutely no control over, and that's where we need God and the Holy Spirit to help us and to guide us and to remind us that, you know what, all is under control, even though it doesn't feel like it. If you are somebody that is living with anxiety on a day-to-day basis, I pray that you get the help that you need. And if not, I pray that these 10 tips do help you navigate life through anxiety. I hope that was a very informative video. Once again, do share this video with somebody who needs it, because I know that there is somebody like that in your world. Thank you so much for watching this video. Till the next one, stay blessed and may your mental health thrive.